So when people ask me about POTS and how to describe it, this is how I do it, and it seems to make the most sense. Now, this is not how I describe it to doctors. This is how I describe it to anybody around me who's like, hey, what's going on? How have you been? And I basically describe it as a disconnect between my mind and my body. So prior to my diagnosis, prior to me having POTS, prior to like probably 2021 at this point, if my mind was anxious, there was kind of like this purgatory where I could endure mental anxiety and have a period of time where it would not transfer to physical anxiety. So I could be stressed out about something mentally and feel the tension building, but it would never escalate to like a physical anxiety attack. It could also go the reverse. I could be physically anxious about something. So for instance, like I'm not so good with heights. I can feel the physical weakness in my body when I get up really high into a place, and I can feel the kind of like wobbliness and just like the tingling sensations, and I don't love it, but I can have a stopgap measure right in between where the physical sensations do not translate to mental anxiety. And that stopgap, that period of time between the mental and the physical, is really what allows my body to not escalate, to allow my mind to not spiral. But post 2021 and all of the physical stuff that I've gone through from a health perspective, that stopgap no longer exists. So if I am physically experiencing stuff, the mental load just kicks right in. If I am mentally stressed about something, I physically feel it within a matter of seconds. And that lack of gap really is what causes that ping pong back and forth for me. I have always conceptualized my POTS to be neurological. And the reason that I conceptualize it as that is because I have seen such a distinct tie between the way that my mind works and the way that my body feels, and vice versa. Now, I can't control the physical side impacting the mental. I can only really control the mental impacting the physical. So when it comes to maintaining a semblance of like, I am safe, I am calm, I understand what's happening, believe it or not, positive affirmations have really done the trick. And I don't use them in like the typical sense, but I basically like visualize separating my mind from my physical body. So for instance, I went outside to the park yesterday, and the cold air, the wind blowing, the trees, the people, the whole nine, like basically any version of stimulation was causing my body to shake. But I distracted my mind. And I'm not saying this works all the time, but it tends to do the trick 9 times out of 10. I distract myself to the point where I can allow the physical sensations to do their thing and not escalate into the mental side. I'm basically rebuilding the stop between the mental and the physical that I had way before all of this happened. So if this is helpful, let me know. I can absolutely share more like tools and tricks that I've used on the mental side in terms of like separating out my mind from my body, because I have found it to be beneficial when it comes to escalating things that feel like I have no control over them.